Now, let's try to understand what is economics all about. Probably the world of economics has really come out because of this word called scarcity. Scarcity of resources. See, logically speaking, human being, what he wants is unlimited. For any human being, the wants are unlimited, and the resources with which he can fulfill those wants are limited. Probably he may require capital, he may require lots of money to fulfill all his wants, he may require lots of effort and support from the people to fulfill all his wants. I may want to become CEO of one of the multinational companies in the world. But the resources for me could be limited there. I may achieve it. Not everyone can achieve that. So, which means how well I can utilize my resources effectively is what is guided by the world of economics. The resources are scarce for us, which means fulfilling all the wants may not be possible. And this is where we are coming up with choices. And so, out of the various alternatives that are available, a proper choice has to be made. So, here the lookout is more from the dimension of the consumers as well as the producers. Consumers typically look at them as the buyers, whereas the producers are the sellers. So, which goods and services to consume is the choice for the consumers. Which goods and services to produce is the choice of the producers. So, whenever we talk about the word consumption, it looks as if we have got into the buying process. Purchase. A purchase decision comes up. So, because here the objective is to satisfy the want, use the goods and services to satisfy the want. Whereas on the other side, when I bring in the dimension of production, it is purely input to output transformation. And from the firm's perspective, they do this. And in the process, they have an objective of profit in some form or the other. So, whenever we deal with the word economics, few things that come into picture is look out for the consumer's attitude, consumer's behavior. What is the demand of the consumer? What is he really demanding? How sensitive is the demand to various factors? And how can the firm really persuade the consumer to buy the product that it has produced? So, all these things come as a part of the study of economics. And from the firm's perspective, okay, there are so many decisions to be made. How do I decide what type of goods do I need to produce? What type of services do I need to offer? How much quantity of goods and services to be produced and offered? What kind of technology and the techniques need to be applied? How much should be spent? What are the different kinds of input resources to be used? Here we look at, whenever we talk about the resources as a part of the production, we talk about the land, one of the premier resource. Associated with the land is the raw materials. Then we require labor for transforming input to output. And we also require some kind of capital investment in terms of factories, plants, equipment, machines, vehicles, etc. So all these typically are termed as the factors of production, right? So economics is the study of all these things. So if I have to really look out for, in short, demand, which drives the wants, right? To a large extent, the demand could go even to an unlimited extent. But the supply typically is potentially limited. How much of it is really available to consume? So this is where some kind of matching has to occur. This matching should occur at an aggregate level, which means the country level, or it has to occur even at an individual level, individual good, service, etc. So some kind of matching which we are trying to achieve at the macro or aggregate level is where we bring in the macroeconomic related study. Whereas if we are trying to achieve the same at an individual level, matching between demand and supply, that branch is called as microeconomics. So at the end, the whole process or the entire world of economics talks about how do I try to equate actual demand with actual supply. So when I bring in the macroeconomics, here the demand and supply matching is happening at the economy as a whole. So we always talk about the aggregates of the economic stuff. We talk about national income, we talk about unemployment, we talk about not the price of a single good but price levels in the country. So these are all aggregates. So here we talk about aggregate demand, which is talking about the total spending level, not one single consumer. Total level of spending, which is the aggregate demand. Aggregate supply talks about the total amount of output of goods and services that is available. So this is what is coming as a part of the macroeconomics. On the other side, when I am talking about the micro, we are talking about the individual parts of the economy, each household, each business. Again, there also how well the demand is being equated to the supply, which will determine the pattern of the production, the pattern of the distribution, etc. So whenever we are talking about the world of economics, we are looking both from a microeconomics perspective where the focus is on individual firm level, household level, from a firm's perspective, what is that it should produce, how much it should produce. And at the same time, we are looking at from a macroeconomic perspective, how, how is the economy going to prosper as a whole. All these things come under the purview of the simple world of economics. Everything, in short, it is nothing but trying to match the demand with the supply, trying to match the unlimited wants with the limited resources. All right.